Hey
let you know
yo,
now.
what's good? Good people, what's good? Good
What?
people. That couch Pundies is back. I don't know if you guys did you guys I don't know, what do you guys put out there so that the
Okay, go
people can like
live, Baba. I'm waiting for it to go live.
it's live,
Or
bro.
maybe it
In
is
30,
live.
13 seconds. Yeah, it's already live, bro. It's like
What's up?
Hi,
What's
man.
up?
we're like deep into this live. So I don't know, what do you guys put out usually so that people can come and interact? Like, do you guys put out something on Twitter, or like, remember that guy that we had last time? That was
I
that
know we are
Liverpool.
live. It's
That's
30
Scosa.
seconds live.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's Kosa. That's Kosa guy that was here, that was
I'm
busy defending.
I'm gonna put out something now.
Yeah,
I'm
put
gonna
out
put out
something now so
something
people
now
can just
because
jump on, can jump on,
Which
say their
Scotia guy
piece.
now?
There was
yeah
some guy
no.
here. He was defending Liverpool to the death. But you would have been proud. You would have been
Wait, last
very
week.
proud. Yeah, the last live we did, the last live, he was like, but on the comments,
Abdul,
he
it was
wasn't.
Abdul, man. He was.
Yeah, Abdul was in the comments like, no, I'm not gonna talk about Liverpool.
Yeah, I will have been
We
proud.
were chilling with Abdul.
You know how
Mm.
stubborn
Otherwise,
we
gents,
are. Guys,
how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling after the
man,
Like,
two
week?
games down. You know me. Happy. What can I say? Liverpool. It's an oil machine now. Doing good. I wish I could have had this on my laptop, but in cash now I'm on my phone. But it's good. I'm connecting. Other than that, I'm good. And you guys?
I'm fine, man. I'm fine. Hey, just
Ah,
like
let's
Second,
laugh.
football wise. I mean, obviously, it's not a secret. It's terrible, guys. It's bad. It's bad. We shouldn't like for me, transfers or no transfers, we shouldn't be losing to Crystal Palace. That's just me. The team that we have should be able to beat. But I genuinely feel, not to get too much into the show, because obviously we're still doing introductions. I genuinely feel that Ole needs to fall in this order, but that selection was just weird. Another one of those weird gambles he takes that don't pay out. You understand? But we'll get into it, man, as soon as we get into the show. So, okay, Mac, how you doing, man? Has La Liga started?
oh man, it did start. I started with a draw. Ah,
That's because Gareth Bale's in London. That's why he's your lucky charm.
no,
Let him
no,
go to London.
well, it's a great thing that he's gone. I mean, it's a great thing, but I don't know, man. I think Zidane is too much of a one trick pony, And when it works, it's all good when it works. But when it doesn't work, then he becomes then we're stuck. It's like it either has to work or we have no plan B. And once the players have figured us out, it becomes because even now he had Benzema wasn't scoring, the goals were not coming through. The guy doesn't make changes. He doesn't bring in the two strikers we have on the bench. He brings in two other wingers. When he's asked about it, he's like, I didn't want to change the system. That's why I didn't bring in the other guys. Because he's never gonna substitute Benzema. So it's just a bad week. But it's the first game of the season, man. To draw, it's not a loss. So we'll figure it out. But like we say, we
So
will discuss that as we go into the show.
I mean,
Hello,
like,
Mpo. Mpo just said hello, guys.
what's up? I feel like let's get straight into the show. Like, I've got a bit of a like with what you just said. So guys, we're getting straight into the show. This is Couch Pundies, by the way. So we decided we're gonna go live, baby. We don't none of that recording, blah 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 blah. We're gonna go live. They said stay home, stay safe, social distancing. So we're playing our part, man. So have you like with what you said, K Mac, with one trick ponies? I think it's a trend with these new emerging coaches. Um, Ole does it. Lampard does it. Arteta also does it. Like they all have. I always feel like they always have one thing that they can do right. And if that one thing doesn't work out, there isn't a plan B, or the plan B fails dismally. And I see it like with I'm gonna use Ole as an example. Ole has this starting 11. When that starting 11 plays, everything goes perfectly.
Yeah.
As soon as he takes one player, like I'm not even talking about one player out of the system, it all goes to, you know what I mean? It all like the entire thing crashes. So with Lampard relies on individual talent, and if none of those boys, or at least one of them, or like he's been using Pulisic quite a lot, Pulisic has been the guy that's been
Mm.
pulling that Chelsea side for quite a while. So now that he's not there, I mean, I think it's too early to expect Werner or Havertz or any of the other new guys to come in and just start, changing the entire formation of the team and making them like a solid winning team because there's too many problems that still haven't been addressed. So I don't know, like what do you think that is? Is it the inexperience of the coaches or are we just hiring people because they used to play for our teams and we
You
I
know,
decided that
think
we don't want.
you know what I
you know
think
what
it
I'm.
is. If I could go first, the issue here is it's exactly what you just said in your last comment there. We're taking people that have played the game and that have not gotten the time to get their badges, their coaching badges, that haven't had the chance to do. I mean, take a look at Zidane. Zidane retired, took a few years off, came back, was coaching the B team at Real Madrid for 1 year. After he coached the B team at Real Madrid, he became Carlo Ancelotti's
Assistant.
assistant. And then after being Carlo Ancelotti's assistant, he became a coach. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like he didn't build his bones. There was no part where, because literally, if you look at the criticism against Zidane, probably the same is going to be for Lampard and all those guys. Is that they don't if things don't work out, they don't make technical changes that change
Yeah,
the
exactly.
dynamics of the game. If Zidane's gonna make a substitution, he's going to take out Rodrigo and put in Asensio. He's going to take out Vasquez and put in Vinicius Junior. He's going to
Yeah,
take
like a
out
swap for
Hazard to put
swap.
in.
Nah.
It's a swap for swap. There's nowhere where he changes things around or does this. There's nowhere where he'll come. That's for me, and all of them are like that. I think it's because they never really got to the point where they learned the tactics. They've learned. I mean, you take a Pep. A Pep can change his formation not because the team played badly last week, but because he's playing this team this week and he wants to play them in this certain way. Even though they play the football where they control the ball and they control, but he wants different types of players that are going to add something different that is actually going to work out for this specific team. And I think these other guys just don't have. I don't know. They still need to work on the technical reading of the game and how to change it to make it work.
Kaya, guys,
What's
I fully
what's
agree
what?
with you. I think the main thing you guys mentioned, especially issues, is their inexperience. With experience, if you don't get the coaching badges like you mentioned, you need to have the experience. Now they getting experience at the top level where you cannot afford to make mistakes. You understand? For example, Pep started coaching Barcelona B team, Barcelona at the bottom level for a while before he worked himself up. So meaning he was allowed to make mistakes at the bottom there. Frank Lampard, he's studying new, but he's studying at the top. I think he should have stayed at Derby or which team he was on for a while to learn, to be able to make changes on that part. So now they're under pressure. Now they can't think because now they're scared of making changes. They're depending on the team. They don't have the leeway because now they're not confident in their ability. In anything in life, if you're still learning and you haven't mastered it, any mistakes that you do affects your confidence. You start doubting yourself. Now, where the top coaches like Pep, the top coaches like Klopp, even if they have to make a mistake on one game, they don't doubt their ability. They know, okay, it was a bad decision. I move on. They forget about it. They carry on. Now, the young coaches, Frank Lampard, if he goes and he loses another one after Liverpool, he's going to start doubting himself. Ole goes and he goes draws or starts losing against Brighton and then lose against Spurs, questions will be asked about him. And he will
Mm.
start doubting himself as well. So till they understand themselves, until I think they're coaching at the highest level too quickly. They still, if I have to put it, immature for this high level of pressure. They could have stayed at the small teams to learn. For example, I'm not doing, for example, Gerald should stay where he is for a while. He's not ready to come to Liverpool. If he comes, the pressure to be too much, it will prevent him from learning. Only a few coaches learn that quickly. And right now, one of the youngest coaches to me is that RP Lisenberg coach. He learns quickly. He learns and he gets better as he goes by. The
But but
others
but
need
but, uh,
time.
but I also think that what people mistake is they mistake the Jose Mourinho. They mistake the guy from RP as guys can coach at a young age. Those people were not really pro ballers. They didn't play ball till they were old, and then they quit along the lines and went into the coaching setup. So in as much as you might come through young at a 35, at a 36, at a 30, like the guy was 33, but you've been in the coaching system forever. We are taking players that literally he stopped playing, he went on vacation for 2 years, but because he was coached by your Harry Regnabs, he was coached by the big guys, your Mancini. Now we start to think that, and he was a great baller. You start to think, he can also coach. It can't happen. I mean, the Neville went and spoke nonsense, say he'd resign if his team was to lose 7-0 to Barcelona, and he went to Valencia and he got himself a seven. It's not as simple as just
I never was a
no.
clown for that.
You get what I mean? It's not as simple as me being a guy who says I am going to be a good coach. There's special people. Pep was special, and he's still special now because even he took the Barcelona of Frank Rijkaard and he transformed it into his own tika take. Frank Rijkaard wasn't playing that type of football. The rest of the guys have literally just rocked up there. What's working? Everybody's playing 4-3-3. So I'm also gonna put a 40. This is what Lampard is doing right now. He just came there. He's like, I've got three players. You mentioned this over the weekend. Kaya Havertz playing him wrong because you brought him in, and it's something we alluded to the other times that you're just buying everyone, but you're not buying everyone
The
for
system,
the system you want to play. You're just buying everyone because they're available.
because they're available. Yeah, I mean that's it. I think that's one of Chelsea's biggest problems. They're just buying players because they feel that they were starved from the previous transfer season, so now they're just buying players for the sake of it. I mean, I think Lampard is scared to disrupt the team dynamics by benching a guy like Jorginho. Bench his ass. Do you know what I mean? Bench his ass,
Mm.
play Cullen Hudson-Odoi at the wing where he's supposed to be playing, and play Kai Havertz where he naturally plays. You can't this whole thing, and it's an English thing. It's an English thing where they expected players to be diverse and play anywhere. You understand? And it irritates the life out of me. That's why a lot of players don't wanna come to England for the longest time. Because in England, you're expected to be able to do everything. Do you understand? If the coach says you're going to play striker, that's expected of you. You need to know how to play striker, and you need to learn how to play striker today. So they went, and then they went in the transfer market and said, Kai Havertz is available. Nobody else. I think Bayern Munich wanted Kai Havertz, but then they decided, we're going to go for Leroy Sané. You understand? Because they
Mm.
felt that that's where they needed to strengthen their squad. They were pretty solid in the middle. You understand? And I think Kai Havertz also decided to go to Chelsea because he knew that it was going to be very difficult for him to crack into that Bayern Munich starting 11. And I think that's another reason why a lot of players are opting for Chelsea, because they're looking at the Chelsea side and saying, I'm walking straight into that squad. You understand? I'm literally getting off and I'm walking straight into that squad. And for him to have all these players, because think about it like this: everybody's got this ideal starting 11 of Chelsea where they have Ziyech playing on the right, Christian Pulisic playing on the left for 2-3 games until he pulls a hamstring or something again, and then they have Timo Werner playing up front and Kai Havertz playing right behind them in the cam role. What happens to the other guys? Because he's afraid now. He's afraid. He's like, what happens to Cho? What happens to his development? What happens to Tammy Abraham? What happens to Mason Mount? His beloved Mason Mount. What happens to? That's why he's trying to fit that boy in there, because he wants to play Mason Mount at camp. Because that's he feels that boy is very good at camp, and he's not. He's all right. He's not. Ziyech should never be like. You can't have a player that he's such a great baller. He controls the tempo of the match. He doesn't run with the ball. Do you understand? He controls the tempo. He
Mm.
makes late runs into the box. Like it's like he never even watched him play. Like I don't get it. Like didn't he watch him play? Like why did he buy him? Why did he say go buy him? Like it's like he's never seen Kai Havertz play. We've all seen Kai Havertz play, and we all know how Kai Havertz play. He's never ever in the left come from the wing. He doesn't do that. He's not that kind of player. So why play him there? It's ridiculous. It's honestly very ridiculous, and I think it's such things that make you question. Like Ole literally went and put a 19-year-old. He says a 19-year-old has only trained for 1 week, so he's not match fit. That boy is 19 years old. What do you mean he's not match? He's 19 years old, for crying out loud. That boy should be on. That boy should be ready to run, and then you'll take him out at the 70th, 75th minute or something like that. You do not
Yeah.
start a game at the back foot hoping that you'll capitalize at the end. And that's the thing that Ole does a lot. He did it against Chelsea in the FA Cup, where he felt that, you know what, they had given him a bit of leeway because the players were tired. But right now, this is the first game of the season. You don't want to start off at the back foot, because once you start off at the back foot, the pressure applies. Do you understand? Because I don't see him winning the thing with the Glazers and Woodward. Him losing a couple of games and forcing them to buy players. Those guys don't care, bro. You like literally lost
They
a lot of
don't.
stuff. You understand? They don't care. Like honestly, we've lost a lot of games with Mourinho, with Van Gaal. Much more for experienced coaches. People can scream Ole out until the sun comes out. Until the management, the board fixes that dynamic. Do you understand? The coach needs to look out for himself, and that's what Ole needs to do. Because even if he gets fired at Man United, he doesn't want to get fired at Man United he doesn't have a Van Gaal reputation. He doesn't have a Mourinho reputation. You understand? Mourinho can self-sustain even if he gets fired from Man United. Ole doesn't have that, so Ole needs to back himself. You cannot put Wan-Bissaka on the bench where you know exactly that Louis Saha, not Louis, what's him? Wilfred Zaha and Jordan Ayew. They pacey players. They very fast. And if you look at all the goals we conceded, they were coming straight from the right side, because those guys knew that that's not Wan-Bissaka. Do you know what I mean? As much as Timothy can play, he is not Wan-Bissaka. He cannot track back. And Lindelof was exposed a lot. He was exposed a lot because Matic was not there to cover his ass. He was exposed a lot, and they were running in from the right, because they knew they would catch Lindelof one man. Because
and if you think about it, Lindelof is he's not a great marker. He's a great defender. If he's a great defender for the set pieces, for the through ball, but he's not. If people are running at him,
he's a system player. He's not a one. He's a system player. If you put him right there with Maguire next to him, with Wan-Bissaka to cover him and Matic to cover him, he'd look like, wait,
solid,
this boy is actually he's solid. Whereby he's not, because on a one-on-one, and that's exactly what they did. They're like, we don't want to go to Maguire, because Maguire is strong enough to bundle over a player. Do you understand? They said, we're going to go for, if you look at it, they never even went to Maguire once. They were staying the hell away from him. Do you understand? They were like, hey, that guy, he fights in Greece. We want to get with that guy. We're going to go straight to him.
The thing about Maguire is street smart. So he can take on players that can take him on. He's not the best at it, but he's good enough to stop you 2 or 3 times. So your confidence gets toned. But at Lindelof, you're going to go off. But G, let me throw this to you.
It's soft.
Maguire
so
G,
he's
let me go this. That's preach. It's street smart.
No, but
have you seen the videos where he gets turned around? That boy doesn't know.
Yeah, but every defender gets turned around. I mean, if you remember, literally, Virgil van Dijk was on his knees. Do you understand? Like literally was on his knees when Rashford was dribbling around him. Every player gets that. But then the problem is that you need a person who can cover for you. And then Lindelof is not that guy. He's not strong enough to say, okay, Maguire's on his knees. Maguire's been turned around. And that's where Matic always came into play. Because immediately when Maguire got turned, Matic was there to clean up the mess.
But G, also, you need to be honest. I know Maguire at Man U he looks average and whatnot. But if you go back to the time when he was at Leicester, where it made him Maguire, where he's made, he was a solid defender. He was street smart. You would agree with me at that point.
So are we going to talk about
it's an issue. But wait, I want to pull something to you. So Trev just went, he said, top managers know how to harness the best out of any player, even the worst players. And Lampard does not have that capability. He hasn't built an eye for that character. And then he goes on to further say, what people have then said is that a football brain doesn't only apply to players; it also applies to managers.
So
What's
you're
your
saying
guys'
Lampard
thoughts
doesn't
on
have a
that?
football brain? Is that what, is
Oh,
that what
manager!
Trevor?
Oh, manager!
Trevor, please comment there and confirm. Are you saying that
I,
Frank Lampard does not have a football brain?
I think Frank Lampard has a football brain as a player. He doesn't have it as a manager. It's two different things. We've seen before where a person was an average player, they end up becoming best managers. You understand?
Jose
Pep, for
Mourinho,
example, they were average.
Alex
Klopp was an average
Ferguson.
player. Klopp, but they end up being also managers. So some people, like you mentioned earlier, some people assume because somebody was a great footballer, automatically they'll be a great manager. It doesn't work that way. Some people are good in following instructions. Some are good in being a leader, manager, where we come with tactics, able to read the situation, able to change it immediately on that part. For example, Klopp was slow also into the. He had to learn in the Premier League to do that. He was also slow in making substitutes. He was slow in reading the game. He's gotten better in the past 2 years. That's why Liverpool
Who's
is
that?
getting better. Klopp,
Uh,
as a
He never had any
he never had
because I'm
any
just
substitutes. The guy took out Bayern Munich with Dortmund. Don't come saying he was bad at reading the game. You guys were just
no.
crap.
No,
He
I'm
was
not saying
still
Klopp.
building in. He was still building in this character Trevor's talking about into the players because he had to get your players to believe you could win something.
Yeah,
I know that's
I think Liverpool. Like I'm probably going to get a lot of stick. Like Liverpool is probably one of the most dangerous teams in the world with the least talent. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like they've got the least talent, but as a unit, you can't mess with them. Like if you look at the
Well
system
coached
that
team.
yeah, because they've got that belief that they can beat anybody. They've got that belief, and it's kind of like what Simeone used to. You remember that Atletico that used to be so ruthless. That Atletico that
Mm.
used to Simeone made them believe that you know what, guys, you can beat anybody. Don't let anybody think that just because we ranked the third team in Spain, we can't beat anybody in the world. And that's the thing with Liverpool. It's first the attitude. I think Liverpool right now are beating teams before they even walk into the field. Like before even kickoff, teams psychologically are already beaten. Like yo, we are playing against these guys. We're gonna
you,
have
you,
to
you know
we're
so
gonna have
so
to
people like
defend.
they remind me good coaches do that. One of my favorite coaches ever used to do that, which was Sir Alex. Sir Alex, growing up, Man United never used to have, like you say, natural talent players. But he will
Mm,
get them and he will make them superstars. There was a time where
mm,
Phil Jones, people thought he was going to be your next captain. There was a time he was
mm.
playing at a certain level. He took Michael Carrick, he made Darren Fletcher. You guys have okay players, but he made them superstars. That's what Klopp is doing as well.
Yeah.
Robertson in another team, he will not be a superstar that he is right now. Even James Milner is playing at a level higher than he did at City on that part consistently. And Mane and all that, they great workers. I agree with you. With the first naturally talent or flair player I had, it's the one that I just recently signed, which was Thiago. First time where I say it's naturally, he has one of the highest
Yeah,
natural talent.
he's very gifted. Like he can do stuff with the ball that
Just
other players can't do without trying. You understand? For him,
yes.
like that's why he doesn't even look when he passes. Like it's second nature. Like the guy's just kicking the ball around, looking there, kicking the ball around, looking there, confusing the players, confusing the players. Like Kante didn't know where to
You
look.
see, you see
And
what goes to there's coaches, there's great coaches, then there's great managers. Your great coaches are your club. They can make an average guy become superstar. And then there's your great managers who can manage like a Mourinho, like
I
a
also thought
Zidane.
Jose immediately.
You know, that guy he can take superstars that are huge and make them work as a team. Whereby I bet you, if Jose had Lampard's current team, he could beat
yeah,
all those guys. He could convince Kia Havertz you're a winger. He, even though the guy doesn't feel I mean, Eto said it himself. He's like, I only play wing for Mourinho. Who are you?
Yeah,
Because he was a great manager. So there's those people that can do that, and the others can coach and make a simple flap. Like, guys, come on. I'm sure you guys weren't about you're about to sell Firmino until Klopp came because he was not bringing in the goals. It's like one of those, like you said about Robertson.
He's
He's
still
not
not.
worth half. He's not worth half what you guys paid for. But right now, he's that much. I mean, so it just depends on what kind of
Robertson.
coach you
You
have.
say Robertson is not worth half what you paid for.
Yeah, he's not worth. When
You
he
know how
came
much we
there,
paid for Robertson?
you paid 9 or something like that. At
Eight
the
million.
time
He
you
was
paid
worth
9,
8 million.
he was not worth 8 million when you bought him.
No,
That's
he
He
what
was
I'm
wasn't.
worth.
saying.
He wasn't. He was probably like a
Bruh,
1.5 million player.
if that boy was not English, if that boy was not English, you would not have paid eight
He's
million for
Scottish,
him.
isn't he? Isn't he Scottish? He's
No, he's
Scottish,
not
no?
I
English.
get
He's
why
Scottish.
United Kingdom is all the same. All the players are overpriced.
Okay, so
No.
enough. Okay, so enough about the coaches. Let's get into the games themselves. Let's dissect the games. Let's start with the Man United game so we can get that out the way and
No,
move
no, 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 no.
on. We need to leave. We need to leave Chelsea and Liverpool for last because that was the big game. So we're gonna start with the Man United game.
No, let's start
I'll
with the
give my.
Tottenham and
What's up?
Everton.
Come on.
No, okay, Tottenham first. Tottenham where they're playing.
Hey, bro, I don't know, but they rampage them. Man. I can't even remember who are they playing. Was it
Um,
Watford? I think it was Watford.
No,
Was it
Watford is
Watford?
relegated.
Was Watford? Oh yeah, Watford was relegated. You guys were celebrating that because they beat your asses. Who are Tottenham playing? I can't. Like honestly, guys, for the life of me, I can't remember. What team does Nick Pope? No, it's not Nick Pope. Is it Nick Pope? Mm-mm.
Burnley. No.
No, but they were not playing Burnley. They were
Oh, they're
playing
playing
they were
Southampton.
playing
Southampton.
Southampton.
Southampton. Yes, Southampton has this thing of conceding a lot of goals at the beginning of the season. Last season they conceded 9 from Leicester. They conceded 9 from Leicester. Now they conceded 5. So okay, I'm gonna give my piece. I'm gonna give my piece on this new Tottenham.
Mhm.
I think they're still making hard work of winning games. Like they like for the talent that they have, they make a hard. And I think it hit them after. You know that we can't because Mourinho is he's a discipline freak. You understand? He's like you guys need to maintain your discipline, and sometimes it can be miscrewed for defend all the time. So as soon as they went a goal down, you understand? They were like, okay, you guys are going to lose the game again. And they've got big players. They've got Harry Kane. They've got Song. They've got Dele Ali. They've got who's that guy? No, Serge Aurier. They've got Steven Berg. They've got like big game players, the people that can actually change matches for them. So as soon as Song and Kane switched on, the rest followed. So that's why I'm saying that it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult for teams to play them once Gareth Bale joins that team, because now you're going to have Song, Harry Kane, and Gareth Bale. They're going to probably have one of the most deadliest three up front because Harry Kane can bang them in from any direction. Song can bang them in from any direction. Gareth Bale can bang them in from it. So they're going to have three prolific goal scorers, not 2 and 1 average like most teams have. Most teams will have like 2 that can score goals, but then and I think with Gareth Bale joining, Gareth Bale is going to be the most dangerous player in the EPL because he's got a point to prove. You understand? So we all can hope he's going to get injured very quickly.
He's still injured, most. He'll only play
Yeah,
in October.
yeah, he's only playing in October, but but once that front three gets momentum. And Mourinho and Gareth Bale, they're not strangers to each other. They obviously made it real. So they're not strangers to each other. So these guys know each other. And for the fact that you've got Harry Kane, who doesn't have pace, but give him the ball anywhere in the box, and it's likely to end up in the back of the net. And you've got Song, who's very fast. Gareth Bale, who's very fast. Do you understand? And then they bought they bought that boy from Wolves. What's his name? Because Wolves is
Sorry.
offloading play.
Sorry.
Yeah, Tokori. Do you understand? So I like they're going to be such a strong team, and with Mourinho's defensive the discipline that he wants them to have defensively, because we all know that Spurs can actually defend. Any team that Mourinho, they can defend. The problem is that once they get under pressure a lot, because they're not delivering any pressure from the other side, that's when defenses crack. So I think Spurs will be fine. It's going to be difficult. I feel like this is going to be one of the most difficult seasons for teams like United, like Chelsea, like Arsenal, because of how strong teams have become. Like Everton, like my question is that whose
No,
place is Everton taking in the top four? Like they've got a very experienced coach, and they're building a
yeah.
super team, guys. These guys are building a
They,
super team, and it is so strong. People are undermining it because they don't have the big names like most of these teams have, but they are so strong. Like they are so strong as a unit. So for teams like Leicester, like Wolves, it's going to be very difficult this season. It's going to be very, very difficult because they won't have the financial resources to strengthen whenever stuff needs to be strengthened. You understand? And Wolves, for some apparent reason, is offloading all their players that are non-Portuguese and buying other Portuguese other Portuguese players to come in. So, well, I think Tottenham are going to be a force to reckon with. I don't know what you guys think.
I think Everton will be in the top four. I agree with you. I think Everton. This will be the first Merseyside derby that will be entertaining. I think they'll be able to match Liverpool for the first time in a long time in the Merseyside derby. I'm scared of them for the first time as a Liverpool fan. Previously, I wouldn't like it. Okay, it's Everton. It's gonna be 3 points, at Anfield. I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried because they're playing brilliant football. The players are starting to finish. You understand? They're starting to have that confidence, and Yamas has brought that confidence to them. That goal, he's brought that creativity. He's holding that midfield, and unlike I'm sorry, but unlike Chelsea or Man United, they've got a good experienced coach who knows how
Mm.
to win. You understand? And he knows where, if things get tough, what does he need to do to change formation? How does what he needs to do to substitute? What does it need to do so for that to counter this? So if he knows that Liverpool is playing this way and this is my weakness, he'll be able to pick it up because he's been there. That's the advantage he has of other young coaches like Ole and Lampard. That's why I have a feeling Everton this season, if they build up momentum the way they are, because they're on 6 points now, 2 out of 2.
Mm.
If they end up going 4, 5 out of 2, then they will be challenging for top four.
Top honors.
Because and another thing, uh, like Man United started bad, which you shouldn't, because now your next game is against Brighton, and Brighton is another underdog that is playing well. That left back of theirs, and they finished. They gave Newcastle a challenge. They even gave Chelsea a challenge. So
They did.
meaning, if you're not up to you scratch, they might sneak in a 1-0 or 2-1 win or a draw. So meaning,
For me,
Man United in the next game can't afford to be relaxed again because Brighton is also one of those good. If you're playing Fulham, I'll be like, okay, you get your form against them. Or if you're playing West Brom, I was like, okay, it's an easy win. Now Brighton, I've been watching their games, they're on form. Now, if it happens that you draw against Brighton, your next game is against Spurs. You understand? And you might fall behind. And if you fall behind, it will be difficult for you to start catching on to Everton, to Arsenal, who also was on form. So I agree with
Nah,
you. Like top, yes,
Leicester,
3 and 4.
We've been
no,
in this position before. Leicester came with the
Not
heat.
less
Arsenal came with
Arsenal.
the heat. Arsenal came with the heat.
le-
Leicester
le-
came.
le-
But I understand what
uh,
you're saying. I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you.
you know, for me, no, I think it's not so much as to say it's a clear cut race. I think there's there's about two elite teams, which is then your Man City and Liverpool, and then you've got like this chain of about 6, 7, 8 teams that are now fighting for the. I think that's where the interest for me in the EPL is going to be. I mean, whoever's going to win is probably going to be Man City and thing. But if you really want to entertain yourself, you kind of like exclude the first two positions and watch the rest of the 7, 8 guys that are playing. And that's when, for me as a neutral, you're going to really enjoy watching the games because there's going to be so many permutations. First of all, with Everton, Everton is solid, but my worry is that I don't know if they've got depth in the team. If you look at his setup, from what I've seen, yeah, you've got James who's all great. He's a baller, and then you've got Richarlison, and for me, the most impressive player more than James is that striker guy, the tall guy. He's got two surnames. I just forgot
Calvert
how
Lewin.
that boy for
Calvert
me
Lewin.
from the little bit that I've
Calvert
seen.
Lewin.
He gives a team what it didn't have last year, whereby they would create the chances, but Richarlison he's not your finisher. He'll
He's
he'll he'll
childish.
see he'll score the great goals, the
He's
singular
childish.
ones
Yeah, I
where
was about to say
you
he's
know
childish. He wants to
yeah,
score
but
fancy goals. He doesn't want to score a tap in or anything like that.
exactly. So he's not going to be the guy who's going to grind you. Not your Van Nistelrooy type. And that other guy, he just seems like I. He just seems like I'm just there to score. I don't care. It's
Yeah,
with
I'm gonna.
my
Yeah,
neck, with
exactly.
my knee, or what.
Mm,
And that makes it all great. Now my worry is if you're looking at his formation, it's almost like it's a 1-2 with three midfielders. So if anything happens, does he have the depth to still continue with that formation, which is his preferred one? Will he have the depth? Will he have the quality to replace the quality that's coming in? The English season is a very long one. It's 38 games. I hear you guys talking about under pressure, two games draw. For me, this is just nothing's going to be seen. Yeah, maybe after 5 games, you can see where people are going. But in the first, I mean, Manu lost their one game, it's just one. I mean, if you look at Mourinho, they won 5-2, but they lost the first game. So it's too early to see. But also speaking about Mourinho with Bale coming in, going to be lethal. It's pretty clear what he's going to do. He's going to do what he did at Real Madrid, playing off the counter. And
mm.
with Son, Kane, and Bale off the counter, it's super. He's going to kill a lot of teams. The only thing is that they're not as solid in defense as I would expect Mourinho team to be.
Yes.
So, which means if you're gonna play off the counter, you need a very solid. You're talking about at worst 25 goals against you for the whole season for him to be as for Tottenham to be challengers. So I don't know, and I also think then the problem comes in his midfield minus the front three and the defense. I think the midfield is
There's a
quite
big
average.
gap. Yeah, there's a big gap between the defenders and the actual strikers.
And the
And like
extra
you said,
strikers,
the defenders are all average. They've got a good goalkeeper, but the defenders are
great,
all average.
great.
Like
Mm.
yeah, like they're
So
all they're all average.
So for me, the worry is there to say who's going to be that guy who's going to give out the quick through pass, who's going to have the intelligence to play the 1-2 and
Because
not one
Ericsson
to
is
say
gone now.
Ericsson's gone. You need somebody who's going to say once he gets the ball from the midfield. Because I don't know, a lot of English football is either too, or let me say, it's not too slow, but it's either too direct or too predictive. So if you got fast three players like that, you need someone who's gonna take like like a Pogba would have been nice in that kind of setup because he can unleash the passes. And you got three guys that are gonna take on the defenders once they get through to that pass, and then they're gonna create the chance and score. So I'm just worried about his midfield. For me, Arsenal seems like they're not that great. Maybe if they get Thomas Partey in there,
Let's
maybe if they
let's
get
okay,
Thomas
okay,
Partey and solidify that midfield,
okay,
they
let's
go
chat.
somewhere. But at the moment, it's like, yeah, no, the form is there. But once that form moves,
My
I'm
my
worried
Guys,
what's
my
going
Arsenal
to
my
out of all
happen.
those three teams, Arsenal out of Chelsea, Man United, and them, they're the most well coached right now. You can see it already.
my thing is
They
wait,
they
wait,
are
listen.
well coached to me.
My,
They
my,
more solid than before. They harder to
no,
break down.
listen. Okay.
Do they have it to sustain? I don't know, but they are well coached. You
My
can
thing
see
is
it.
my thing is that you're right. They are well coached. They've got a like they've got a good coach, but I think we should judge a coach based on 38 games. Do you understand? Like to judge him off two beating the weaker sides that they beat. Listen, Arsenal have always had a good side. They've always had a good team, but the problem is that Arsenal they ego players. Once they lose a match, stuff starts tumbling down like dominoes. Do you understand? Because right now Aubameyang is on form, and once you've got Aubameyang on form, the Arsenal thing it just works out. You understand? Because he's playing in a position where it's not his natural. He's playing like almost like a false nine or right wing. I don't know, but he's not playing as a number nine. He's not playing as a number nine dominant strike. So he's had to carry the bulk of the work. And they've got a lot of young players that are very good. You know what I mean? They're very good. And I think the addition of Willian takes that pressure off Aubameyang. Do you understand? It takes the pressure off Aubameyang. Now he can go into the box a bit because Aubameyang always wanted to feed the guys because they'd give him stupid passes. Like they'd literally give him ridiculous passes. Those passes were stupid. And you know what? You could see the delivery. But with Willian there, Willian can actually deliver the ball very nicely into the box for Aubameyang. But I think also with them, it's going to be a depth thing. Do you understand? It's going to be a depth thing. Do they have what it takes to sustain, a 38 a game season? Do they have what it takes to also because I think they're also in Europe, né? In the Euro, yeah, they're in the Europe because they won the FA
Europa
Cup.
League.
Yeah, they won the FA Cup, so they're in the Europa. Yeah, so they're in the Europa, and then there's the other two domestic, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup also for them to play. So right now they're in a good mood. They've got a coach that really understands what it is to coach youth because I think that's where Emre lost the connection between the youth players and he couldn't honestly put it together. So I think that if as soon as Mike, I don't know how Ozil feels about it, but I think they should do everything in their power to get Ozil back into that side because they're gonna need players like Ozil in there to carry them. You know, like to carry them in terms of experience. That guys, let's play the ball because they play the direct football that Kai's talking about. They kick the ball forward and they run. Understand? There is no passing of the ball around because they don't have an intelligent passer of the ball. Right now, they don't have an intelligent passer of the ball. But their system is working for them right now, but they haven't really been challenged. To be honest,
But
they haven't
but
really been
also but
challenged.
also to say that for me, in as much as Arsenal has won, I didn't watch the Community Shield. I don't know how they fared against Liverpool. But from the games that I've seen them, they're winning, but the build-up play is too slow. Against a much more intelligent team, against a much more technical team, they're going to struggle to get set going forward that they're getting. It's like the build-up is very slow. And on top of it being slow, it's not magical. There's no play. There's no ball players there. So you know
Exactly what
it's
I'm talking about.
typical. They're gonna pass it there, then pass it there, and then I mean, even if you look at some of the Willian goals that he made, they were great because of his vision because he's Brazilian. But other than that, the build up is just was too slow. It's just they were much more dominant because of it. And for me, another problem which then comes into play is that most of these teams have good 12, 13 players. But this is a season after COVID-19. It's starting late already. On top of it starting late, they're going to have to finish on time because there's the Euro coming in 2021, which is postponed for this year. There's like True saying the Champions League, there's the million cups they play in England, Carabao, you got FA Cup with replays and all of that nonsense. And so which means you're looking at probably a 50 game season compressed into probably a month less than what it should have been without preseason, and which means that injuries is going to be man management in this kind of environment is going to be probably what wins you the league. How you manage your players, how you rest. It's like Pirlo was saying about Ronaldo. He was saying he's a very intelligent player, but he also has to have the intelligence for the team to understand that he's gonna need to be rested when we're playing the lesser teams or the teams where the games are not as important as they should be. And we're not talking about resting a player once. You're gonna have to rest him like it's not that rest, yeah. You'll play first half for a few minutes. You're probably gonna be dropped for the whole
The
game
entire
so
game.
you can focus on. Now if removing one player from your team is gonna cost you momentum, then you're literally not gonna make it. If
Exactly.
if you take out Bruno Fernandes and say, "Bra, you need to rest so that you don't get injured," and nobody steps up into that plate, then it's like 3 points down the line. You get to the pressure whereby now you can't even rest your players. You have to play your first 11 every single week in week out midweek
God,
games. You're not gonna make it. This is
You
this
mentioned
is actually I think it's a season where the coach is gonna win it based on
man management.
tactics.
I think this is where the fitness team and the coaches win it. Meaning, the team that can make the players recover quicker, regardless of injury, or maintain their fitness. So if your back office is weak, you're going to be exposed to fitness. That's why we had to go fetch our previous one from Arsenal because I
Fetch.
was left. Because now you have to have the best around you at this moment. And guys, it's true. Like I agree with you, Kai. It's all about if Mane needs the rest, how quickly can you make him fresh? If I drop him this week and in 2 weeks past, will he be fresh enough to come back? If Salah picks up an injury, how quickly is he out? There are some teams that are good in that. Barcelona used to be good in that. Their players never used to be injured for long till their doctor left. Bayern, their
Hey,
players don't get in. Bayern,
yeah.
their players don't get injured. Liverpool, for the past 2 seasons, they went to go get the Barcelona go doctor and other in Germany. Klopp went to go. That's why my players hasn't been injured for long. I'm talking about the front three. It's because now Klopp has went into nutrition and all that has to change. That's why you'll find even the players that used to be injured a lot of times don't get injured. This is where now you have to have the best scientists, the best nutritionists to survive this season. So teams will be exposed. And I fully agree with you, Kai. If, for example, Arsenal cannot afford to drop Aubameyang for 2 weeks or a week, and they make drop, that means then they will not survive because
Exactly.
you can't.
Even if it's not even a week, even if it's like it's the last 25 minutes, you need to drop him. He needs to take him out the game because you've played 5 games that have been high intense. Can you take him out and still maintain the winning mentality, or when you risk of doing that sub, you're literally giving the game away?
You know what? Trevor just mentioned something. He said Arsenal has a good team, but the question is the mentality that has always been the critique. I fully agree with what he says. I think Arsenal are where Liverpool used to be before Klopp came. So you remember Klopp had to change the mentality in the team of all the players to start believing in them winning. And it's true, guys. You know, when a team starts
And get rid of
get used to
and get rid of Benteke.
Benteke, get rid of those weak-minded players, like get rid of Sacco. You understand? People who play a lot. Uh,
Fuck.
so
Uh,
that like guys, you even mentioned it that Liverpool mentality, they know they're going to win. Even if you listen to their interviews, Van Dijk made a mistake last week. The interviews, no, just a mistake. I carry on. Their mindset is already in that elite winning mentality. And it took time. He had to get psychologists. He had to get people to sit with them. He had to get a psychologist from America to start changing their mindset. You understand? Because players didn't have to believe, but he also had to get help to get them there. Now Arsenal, like I agree, because they haven't been winning for a while, they need to start changing their mindset. Because I agree, if they have to lose 2 games, they will go back to their performance will drop, like you mentioned, Sush. You understand? And if they will stop believing in themselves. The confidence will be low, and it can happen. Liverpool will test them this week, and Liverpool is fast. Will press them, like you mentioned, Kai. If they cannot build up very fast, they are going to be exposed. And Liverpool is one team that is going to expose them. We don't give you time to build.
and I
So
think
if
and I
that
think and I think this match is going to be more difficult for Arsenal because they beat Liverpool in the that was in the Community Shield. So this time, obviously, Liverpool are more aware that this team can actually cause damage. So they won't come in light-handed. Like they came in very light-handed with that game. Do you understand? And by the time they realized that, oh snap, we can actually lose this. Do you understand? It was too late, and Klopp didn't want to risk his players anyway. You know what I mean? Like Community Shield League. So it's going to be a very tough game. I think this is where we're going to see how good Arsenal are. You understand? Because I always say it's against teams like Man City, the ones that will push you to the edge. Do you understand? That's when you see that how good you are. Like how good are you? And I think that's where Chelsea always fails. Do you understand? Every time they go up against these the big top six or whatever the hell it is, they crack. Do you understand? They crack because first of all, it's a high profile game. It's a high profile game. They know that everybody's watching. And Frank Lampard likes fidgeting with the squad. That's when he likes fidgeting. For some apparent reason, he fidgets with the squad then. So as soon as he fidgets with the squad, things just go haywire. And I think for Arsenal right now is that they need to keep playing the way they're playing, whether they lose or win the game. Play the way that you are playing because it's been winning you games. Don't now go and try to change it because you lost to Liverpool. Do you understand? And they need to understand that this is a very tough team that we're playing against. They beat Liverpool. Their confidence goes sky high. Do you understand? I think even if they get a draw, they will take the draw and run. They'll take the point and run. Do you understand? Because this is a team that's trying to build momentum, rebuild itself. And I like what Arteta's doing. He's actually rebuilding this team. Do you understand? There's a lot of fresh faces in the team. There's a lot of kids that are hungry. They're you know what I mean? Like it's they're very exciting to watch from a team point of view. But the football that they're playing is very dull. It's very mundane. It's very let's kick the ball to Aubameyang type of thing. Like pass the ball to Aubameyang.
It's different to what Arsenal used to play. It's no
Yeah,
longer
like
that flair pass, so it's playing something new. So I'm sure that's what I'm saying. He's starting to make them compact yet. For your team to be defensive, they need to play boring football first.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is that they're playing very boring football, but it's working for them. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's they're not trying to excite people. They're trying to get they're trying to grind out the results. Because if you looked at the weekend when they went 1-0 down, or that Arsenal team was either going to draw that match or lose that match. Do you understand? It was one or two things. They were drawing or losing, but they dug deep and actually grinded out a win. And that's what they needed. Because Arsenal used to play from ball doing flicks, passing each other all nicely, and then when they get to the box, nothing happens. like nothing happens. So for them to be able to play against this Liverpool side is that they need to understand that we're playing a very difficult team, and then don't change your formation to play against Liverpool. That's where teams lose. Because now people change their formation to play against Liverpool, and now they want to play deep. You're not going to stop them. They're going to put so much pressure on you. Eventually, you're going to crash. Play your brand of football. Do you understand? Play your brand of football. And that's what Man City's always been able to do against Liverpool. That's why I love these Man City Liverpool games. Because, like, Pep is not... Pep, when he gets there, he's like, guys, we are going for them. You understand? We are going for them. A lot of teams, like Man United, will come in and like, well, we'll sit back and see what, and feel them out and then catch them on the counter. Feel them out, catch them on the counter. Feel them out, catch them. That works until they score 2. And then now you 2-0 down. How are you catching them on the counter? How are you catching them on the counter?
Wait. Okay, that's understood. So, guys, I don't know. Do we really want to discuss Chelsea and Liverpool?
Yes.
You guys say we'll discuss that one last. So,
So what's happening with
I'm sure
United? No, let's finish with Man United. Then
we're done. We're done with Man United. They lost 3-1. They played crap. I think we've discussed that. I'd like us to go into the Liverpool and Chelsea game. Wrap up that one so that we can then talk about
transfers. Can we speak
fantasy football and see how's the. Can we speak transfers?
Okay. Okay, let's wrap the Liverpool game up. Okay, so basically the Liverpool game was pretty simple. Like the Frank's team selection was wrong. Kepa was Kepa. Kepa was Kepa, and I think players like Jorginho, like Kovic, like they honestly they don't have that, because they should be leading these boys and they're not doing it. They're honestly not doing it. And I'm even going to take it to the far. Like I'll take Pogba in the weekend. He was trash. He was terrible, bro. Like I don't understand what the hell was going on. Maybe his chest is still affected from the coronavirus. I don't know, but he was just terrible to watch. And I genuinely enjoy watching Pogba play, even when he's having a bad day. Do you understand? I'd enjoy watching him play, but I don't. So if you look at teams like Chelsea, like they've got on paper that team is fire, bro. On paper, if you take that big team on paper, they could blame all the injuries. They could blame all the injuries in the world. That's part of football, bro. It's part of football. You can't buy players that are injured. That's the first rule. You can't buy players. Why isn't Ziyech playing? What happened to Ziyech anyway? Wasn't he just fresh running around in London just the other day? He was fresh running around in London just the other day. So what happened?
But they said he just came back a week. I think it had been just a week since he was not to play. But even if Ziyech plays,
that's the second game they played.
See, this is the problem. Ziyech is a baller. Ziyech should be playing I don't know what you call it in this new kind of football, but he should be playing 8 or 10. But Frank is going to take him and throw him on the wing. While
That's
Ziyech
exactly
was
what's gonna happen.
playing, while Ziyech, it's something you said, while Ziyech was playing, he had a free role at Ajax. You would see him. Remember the one time they were destroying us as Madrid? This guy was on the right, he was on the left, he was striker, he was
The
just
middle
everywhere.
and
Because obviously they play 2020 football, so they move around the whole place. Now, if you're going to take him and want him to play your typical striker, squaring in those balls for what? God knows what, you wouldn't know at the end of the day. He would have been a better player in the midfield, making sure that he gives Timo Werner with his pace those passes for him to run onto and score. Timo Werner is not a striker who's going to create chances for himself, but you give him half a foot with one defender where he just has to do a shimmy and then get a shot in. That's where the goals are going to come in. That's how the kid was playing the whole time in Germany. Now it's like one man there is running. Like I don't know what he's doing. But the midfield is not doing anything for him. So it doesn't matter for me.
he
You know
doesn't have
what?
ballers. He needs Kai Havertz behind him. He doesn't have ballers
That
around
game,
him.
that game, I was like, ah, it's a waste, man, because Liverpool's just gonna run over the. It wasn't a fair match. It was like a heavyweight
I
versus an amateur.
somewhere, somewhere in between the game, I just put it on mute and started
I
playing
got
Fortnite
bored.
because it
I
was
was
so
like,
boring. It was like Liverpool were training, bro. They were passing the ball around to each other. Like I was like, these guys, you know what I mean? Like like you could see you could see the soul of those boys, and I think it's a problem for players like Kai Havertz. It's hard, bro. It's hard to regain your confidence in the EPL. The EPL is like it honestly, like I feel players like Pepe still haven't regained their confidence from coming in and sucking. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like even players that have played in the EPL, immediately when they switch teams and then their form drops, it's difficult for them to get their form back. Do you understand? And you can see this boy that he is struggling, bro. He is struggling so hard. He is struggling so hard. Firstly, it's obviously the criticism for his price tag. First, that's the first thing. The price tag is always going to be an issue. Look at Kepa.
yeah.
Kepa, his girlfriend broke up with him 3 years ago or something, and he is still making stupid mistakes. That boy, like I took it upon myself because I needed to see why did they go pay Villarreal? Is it Villarreal? Or I think it was
I
Bilbao.
think Atletico Bilbao.
Yeah, Atletico Bilbao. I went to go see for myself that why did they go and pay
Business.
70 million? Like why? Like, I needed to understand. And I went to go see a couple of clips of him. He is actually a good keeper. But like you like he no he honestly is a decent team. And Chelsea always pride themselves on good business. It's not good business. You can't buy a 70 million keeper and then go buy another 23 million a keeper now to come
And they
replace
gave
the
him a
70
7-year contract, but
7 year
years
contract.
contract.
This lady, they said they should build a statue around her because she got Kai Havertz for 71. There
Uh,
is, you can buy
Maria,
all,
Maria.
yeah, she is, you can see that she's not a football person. She's a businesswoman. Do you understand? She's a businesswoman. She'll get Chelsea all the players that they want. She'll go in the boardroom. But then if it's not players that are going to work into a system or are going to serve a purpose for the team, then it doesn't matter. Build her a statue, right? It's gonna have pigeons sitting on it because it doesn't make sense. Like they went and bought another goalkeeper.
Uh,
How is that good business?
Trevor,
Like,
Trevor is saying a good comment. He says Liverpool exposed that Chelsea chose to strengthen the wrong areas of the squad, which is something I know you were vocal about when they kept on buying. You were very vocal about it on Twitter.
bruh,
Like they
bruh,
kept buying
why?
down people, guys. What happened?
Why?
They needed
But why?
defense. Their defense is
Oh.
weak. They went to go and buy a 36-year-old. He's going to be exposed. That guy. The time this young knight is
And you know what they say? And you know what they say? They say, yo, this guy looks good for a 36-year-old. Yo. And I'm like, guys, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like honestly, it's all these incorrect purchases that have them in this hole that they are in. They
And
did
and
not
and
need.
it's
Let's be
something that
honest.
we discussed where we said
Let's be honest.
who's going to be the general who's gonna general this whole team that they're buying.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Did Chelsea need Kai Havertz? We're talking from a you look at the squad and you look at what they need. Did they need Kai Havertz? Let's
As
all
a
just be
cherry
honest.
as a cherry on top, but not as the first
No, I'm talking
one
about
you
need
buy.
now, not a want. Did Chelsea need to buy another cam. They've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Nah? They've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They've got Barkley. They've got Mason Mount. They've got who's that lady? Jorginho. Do you understand? They've got Gilmore. Who else is there? Like they've got so many. Yeah, he's still injured. He's going to be injured for quite a while, actually, for a long time. So you've got 5 players now. You've got 5 players that can all play the same. 5 players. Why go spend 70 million on another one? Instead of looking at your defense and saying that this defense is weak. As much as Kepa is a terrible, why are people taking shots out of range to shoot Kepa to begin with? Why? Why is that? Why is that allowed? Because the defense is weak. Kepa can be crucified as long as he's always being left exposed. They're always going to score against him, and he doesn't have the confidence right now. He needed what Chelsea should have done is taken that 70 million that they paid, and they said we're gonna go to Napoli and fetch Koulibaly. We're gonna drag him and fetch him back here. Do you understand? That's what they should have done. And then if there is money left, then you say that okay, cool, we've strengthened our defense. I don't know why they paid. They bought Ben Chilwell. He's part of the defense, so I guess it's okay. It's an okay purchase. I don't think it's 50 million, but that's
make money to buy for midfield.
But who's going to buy Ross Barkley? Who's going to buy Ross
Barkley? West Ham, Crystal Palace. How
much? But
even if you have to say about 30 million, it's fine. He will add.
They're not going to pay. West Ham are not going to pay 30 million for Barkley. We are having the same problem as Man United. We are struggling to offload players that we don't want because firstly, it's COVID, the whole COVID thing. So teams don't have money. That's why some of these teams, these weaker teams, are selling their stars. You know what I mean? Because remember, revenues from stadiums, they lost that now. Do you understand? So which means it's sponsorship deals. So there's a lot of financial things that are affecting teams right now from buying big world star players and whatnot. So I think he should have honestly just took a seat back. That's why I say Frank Lampard is just he's the caretaker there. He's the guy that looks after the boys when they come onto the field and whatnot. Because you cannot, as a coach, sit there and then say that, you know what, the first thing that I need to do when I was conceding goals out of this world, the first thing I need to do is go buy a strike. How do you think? Like, how is that logical for you as a manager? You sit there and you say that, you know what, I was getting scored 5 goals. People were just scoring for fun against us. Man United beat us 4-0. You know, and then they came back and beat us 2-0. And then they came back and they beat us 2-1. Liverpool scored 5 against us. Do you understand? Liverpool scored 5 against us. Chelsea, I think City scored 6 against them. Was it 6 or was it? I can't remember how much, but City scored a lot of goals. It was 6-2 or something like that. Sometime in the beginning of the season. And then you go back and say that, what do I need to make my team better for this season? I need a striker.
Can you guys see what I'm trying to share right now?
No, we can't see it. We can't see it, Jim.
I just shared it now.
It's coming.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
It's literally the log from last season. Just to go on the point that Shush is saying, you look at goals for, so they scored 70 goals. You look at goals against, it's 54, and compared to the teams above them who are in the 30s, like clearly, you know what? Even if Lampard is not the coach, there should have been somebody in the technical team who says we conceded literally almost 2 goals per game. We need to sort this thing out.
We need to sort this thing out. You can't carry on like this. And then you know what I mean. So that's my biggest problem with Lampard is that how you know what I mean. Like, what was your thinking, bro? What was your thinking? That's why I'll say Ole will always edge over Lampard in terms of that, because Ole looked at his team. He's like, you know what? In the January transfer, I've got 50 odd something to spend. Where do I need to bolster this team? We're not conceding a lot of goals, but we're not creative enough. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go bang on the door of Sporting and drag Bruno Fernandes out of there. Do you understand? Look at him now against in the transfer season. As soon as Bruno Fernandes and Pogba were tired, the team was creatively, we were lacking that spark. He went and fetched Van der Beek, another creative player. Do you understand? Another creative player. So you, as a manager, you need to have the vision. Klopp immediately when he came in, he looked at this side and he's like, this side is conceding too many goals. They are conceding too many goals. I'm gonna go get a world class freaking goalkeeper in Allison, and I'm gonna take that boy from Southampton and make him a monster that he already is. Do you understand? Because a lot of people were sleeping on Van Dijk. A lot of people. I had Van Dijk in my on my careers a long time ago when I was playing for Southampton. I had Van Dijk. I used to pay up Van Dijk and Laporte at Man United for my careers because I could see he was a tower. He was strong. He was that. He was that. So as a manager, and then after that, it's like, okay, my defense is solid. What do I need? I need goals. I need goals. I'm gonna go fetch Sadio. I'm gonna fetch Sadio Mata from Southampton because I see he's fast and he can bang them in from any direction. I'm gonna go fetch a Salah from AS Roma. Do you understand? They were sleeping on him because clearly he has been watching him because nobody ever saw that Liverpool Salah thing coming. Like it was like, wait, what? Salah, Liverpool? Why? Why would he buy Salah? Is he crazy? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is he crazy? What is it? He proved us wrong. The guy just came in and banged goals for fun. He took Harry Kane. Harry Kane was the guy. He took him and he put him here. So as a manager, what was he thinking? Like, I just need to sit down with Frank and say, my man, put the cigarette down. Tell me why.
So you know what he was thinking? He's trying to do what Liverpool did. Now, what you mentioned, Klopp did it vice versa. He went to go get money first. Money was his first buy. Then we bought Salah. Then in between, he noticed that we leaking goals. That's when 2018 he went to go buy Van Dijk and Ellison. But my front three was already there. So he's assuming he's hoping to do the same thing. He's hoping for now his front three to start so he's starting to wish, like for example, he can start with an attack, then hopefully to get defenders next season. But guess
what is the use?
He doesn't have the caliber for him to survive. He won't survive.
What is the use? Because the team is not going to spend 200 plus million on you for you to end up fifth or sixth or whatever. What is your excuse as a manager? What is your excuse? Do you understand? You cannot spend so much money and still end up fifth or sixth or whatever. You understand? Because like I said,
does Chelsea have a technical director, a football
Maria
director?
Mangma.
Yeah, Maria. What?
No,
She's
I
not.
mean, like, no, bruh. Like, not. Okay, you know what? But this is the
Like a director
counterpart.
of football. Like director of football.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Then actually now, especially based on what you were saying about football break, then it's actually Abramovich's fault because you can't take a lady like Frank and give him you can give him the reins as one of those things, club legend, with giving him the reins. But if you don't have a football director who's there trying to say to him, because that's why I'm asking myself is that guys, we conceded 54.
My
No
man.
one. We go buy Timo Werner, we go buy all these. No one is saying, oh, okay, wait.
What is it?
You've got Ziyech, you've got those people. Munda, what are we doing? And even if you go fetch a Thiago Silva, a 36-year-old, I mean, come on. Like,
and then they
you know
say
what?
it's okay. They're going to pay him a huge salary. They're going to pay him. Fine, the transfer was free, but they're paying him a salary at the end of the day. A huge salary. They're paying him a huge
think
salary.
about it. Think about it. Barcelona is going with Umtiti, a good quality, solid defender. You could probably get him cheap for like 20 because they're trying to get rid of them anyway. You could get an Umtiti there for cheap. I mean, a Busquets, I don't want to lie, a PK would have been a better buy than a Diego Silva because I still read PK. I think maybe Barcelona want to get rid of him because they just want to change. But at the end of the day, I still rate him for what, for me, he's the best defender.
Yeah,
There was
and even if
quality players that you could have gotten for like
and even if
less.
even if they're banking on his experience, they're forgetting that Thiago Silva has spent the better part of 6 seasons in a league where his team never really had to defend anything. Do you understand? They'll just
Exactly.
go out there, murder teams, and life would go on. He's never really been tested. That's why they struggle. Whenever they get to the Champions League, they will struggle. They struggled because they never get tested. So imagine Thiago Silva having to how the hell how is Thiago Silva going to stop Rashford? Like okay, I'm just like through ball Pogba Rashford. He's going to pull a hammy, bro. He's going to pull a hammy. He's down. He's not going to stop Rashford. How is he going to stop Sadio Mane? Okay, Sadio Mane is going to close that ball. That guy is touching the corner flag. It doesn't make sense.
Body. That's going to stop Body. another old person quicker
He's
than.
oh he's yeah some patir.
You see
Guys, you
that's
understand? Like,
why I say for me
Nah,
there should have been a technical director or a director of football who's looking at these things. But this is a professional football. You can't have just nobody doing stats analysis to check for Ebra. This is the
where
problem.
yeah
This is
where are your
where we
strengths?
got a
Where are your
problem. This is
weaknesses?
what we need to do.
And he's very isolated. Have you noticed how Frank is isolated there by the touchline? If you look at most of the other coaches, they always have somebody whispering there. Frank is always alone. Frank has got nobody that
Mm,
says to him, "Brah, no, don't put that one, put that one." You understand? Like he doesn't have
mm.
that. He doesn't have that. And I think people like Michael Carrick and Fellaini are people that are helping Ole sometimes. They're like, wait, no, take this one and put him there and whatnot. But Frank is so isolated. He's so alone. Whenever he goes through these things, he goes through them alone. He'll end up fighting Klopp, fighting everybody there on the touchline because he gets so frustrated because he's alone. And I think he can see that this is not working, but I'm going to try it again next week. And it doesn't work. And I'm going to try it again next. And then it works. Then they're like, oh, hail Frank. Oh, hail Frank. Oh, hail Frank. And then it
And
doesn't
and
work again.
and and, and and to be honest, he's probably got the potential to be a great coach, but it's just that there's too much. It's like when you try and do something too quickly, and it's giving you the opportunity to learn through mistakes, but because the pressure is so high, you can't learn through those mistakes and become a better coach. The minute there's a mistake, it kills you. Self doubt, behind self doubt, you end up being Paul Gascoigne and sit at rankard somewhere, and because it's
Pop,
just too much
pop Trevor's,
pressure.
pop Trevor's question there. Pop Trevor's question.
I
Pop
don't
Trevor's
think so.
question there.
Trevor, he will never. Trevor,
So
I
general, he
will
will
answer
the,
be.
this. Okay,
the
so here's the question by Trevor. You guys can see it.
yeah.
So I think this is my personal opinion. I want to see when he has full strength of the squad, what he can do with them. I don't think they've got I don't even think with that, even if he has the strength of the squad, even if he has Ziyech on the side, which is going to be playing him totally out of position, like Kai already said. And I see the Chelsea guys are already toggling with stuff there. And I'm like, these guys don't watch football. Like that guy plays free. He plays a free role. Do you understand? You let him do whatever he needs to do, but they're already toggling with position. So let's say he's got ZH, he's got Werner, he's got Cap, and he's got Havertz there in the middle, and then he's got Kante and Kovic and all the other clowns at the back. I'm not even going to mention them. All the other clowns at the back. He's got all those guys. They will go and score a goal. Yeah. The other opposition is going to come and score two more. Now they're chasing. Now everybody's up front. This guy score again. Now they 3-1 down. Do you understand? So I think it's going to be a cycle of that. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying he will. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a Chelsea legend. Not because he's going to change the game or they're going to challenge for the league like they think they are. No, not that. I think he will be there. They're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But if he doesn't at least challenge for second spot, at least with the amount of money that they spent, at least I don't think he'll be Chelsea manager come second season, come the
Dude, by
2021
December, you'll
22
be far
season.
behind. You'll be far behind the top two. There's no way he's gonna catch up with City and Liverpool, considering that how the two teams have been so consistent the past 2 seasons. You understand the other teams have to be in a certain level of consistency to challenge them.
Mm.
Meaning they have to be like if Liverpool drop points, there's no way City's dropping points the same weekend. That's the level of the way City and Liverpool have put the competition level there. So for him to challenge, he has to be
But
literally the
you,
third best, meaning he has to go now. Since he lost to Liverpool, the only team he can lose again to is City to be
I,
challenging.
I,
Because
I don't think
Liverpool and
I
City,
don't think the season's
they
gonna go as the last two ones with Liverpool and City running havoc the whole year round. It's not gonna be those. So, but also I think his team he's got enough quality just in the team itself without his coaching for them to win a few of the easy games
Yeah,
and
that's
keep
that.
him in the
Yeah, I mean, I want to
in
be I
the
want to be
loop.
fair. I want to be fair and say let I'm gonna let him play his best 11 because that's the excuse right now, right? That he doesn't have his. So I'm gonna let him play his best 11. I want to see how they play like, and I think that's when we'll see if he is really a coach or he's just a caretaker. Because if it's all forward people scoring goals, but there isn't really any synergy at the back, nobody's doing the basic. Like that guy, he managed to make Kante look like an average player. I don't know how he did that, but he literally took one of the best. I don't know if Kante is a CDM or if he's just a CM. I just think he's a central
He's a
midfielder. I
CM.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's a
think he's a central
CM.
midfielder. He managed to make him look bad. Like, these guys are just running circles around Kante. Kante doesn't know what the hell is going on. And that's so unlike Kante. Do you understand? He's a workhorse. If you look at
Mm.
that, like Thiago was literally running circles around Kante, and Kante's been in this league forever. Thiago was literally in there for 45 minutes in this league. 45 minutes.
So
The guy jumped, the
Thiago,
guy jumped, you know what I mean? The guy jumped off a plane 2 days ago. He jumped off a plane 2 days ago.
his
Jumped
first
off a
training
plane.
session was
No,
at Stanford Bridge, dude.
You
That was his
understand?
first
He
no,
jumped
training
off
but
a
session
but
plane.
but
at
but
Chelsea Town.
I think also it exposes that I don't think Chelsea have a game plan. I think it's one of those things like, okay, guys, this is the starting 11. Get your best shot, play with your heart, play for the badge, and let's go. Hooray! High five! Together, we will do this. We will do it. And then it's like walk out into the team because there's no structure. There's no like. There's no There's no synergy to say that we've trained so much. We know what we're supposed to do, and we do it like
Mm.
simultaneously. It happens. I know if I've got the ball and I'm on the edge of the corner, somebody is running, whoever is making a run there. That I should know automatically because that's a team structure. We know that they're going to do that. If if you take a well coached team like Liverpool, people say Trent Alexander is a great passer of the ball. He is because he knows. I've got two ones. Either Mane is running there or I've got Robertson running across. So the minute I throw that pass, somebody's coming for it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So which means somebody's gonna get that pass. You look at somebody like Henderson. We all know Henderson is as average as they come, bruh. But because the team has trained so much that I kid you not, if you're probably to look at Henderson's pass percentage now in top time, previously before, it's probably doubled because it's not even like I'm passing because I'm a great passer, but because the team structure, the team is so well coached that I know there should be a player there. If I
And
pass
it
it,
got better.
somebody's going to be there. You get what I'm trying to say? Because it's a team. So how the team plays, I already know before that somebody should have been covering that post because that's how our structure is supposed to be played around. And in Chelsea, it's
Okay.
just like there's no structure. It's just like, guys, do it.
Okay, guys.
So Kai, it comes down to what we said earlier. The team is well coached. Henderson is the well coached to know that this is a gap. If I pass, Mane is coached to go into that gap. The same way the red card happened. Did you see Henderson's pass? He got the ball from Ellison. He passed that brilliant ball to Mane. Mane was running. That's when they settled it. So Henderson never used to do that. I agree with you. But because you've been coached and having certain players around you influence or improves your vision a little. That's why he was able to
Yeah.
do that because he's well coached. Lampard won't be able to do that to him. Lampard won't be able to bring that out of Anderson. So he doesn't have a football brain like Trevor said. He won't survive.
Yeah.
Lampard.
So just in I think we've been at it for like a while. Maybe it's because it's like our first show as a trio in a while. Probably before last show we did together was lockdown, so we literally ran an hour 20 minutes talking football. So which means we've killed our
Yeah,
time. But before we
we
leave,
killed that time. Mm-hmm.
before we leave, I'm just
Predictions,
gonna
guys.
wait. Forget about
Predictions for
predictions.
what?
I think
Um,
just as an honor, obviously we've got our FPL league, guys. So we're just gonna read the top 10, eh? and not go any lower than that.
It's still early, man. It's still early in the FPL.
No. Yes,
I took
every
12
week we are
points
going
today.
to do.
I removed 12 points because I did
Let's
something
listen,
still
listen,
early.
listen. Before you carry on, I literally shaved 16 points off because I needed to change that entire team. Understand? And
Yeah.
I'm willing to take it. I'm willing to take it because I understand that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And
Thank you.
yeah, if you look at this week's
I did
result,
the same thing.
just look at this week's result. Just look at this week game week 2 results, and then you'll see why I had to do what I did.
No, I also did that. I took 14 points. I think 12 points today, so I can remove my players.
12 points today.
Kaya.
So that's how it looks like, guys.
No, it doesn't, bro. You need to update. You need to update your thing, right? It doesn't look like.
No, it is. This is the latest one. I went to now.
Oh, okay. So look at my points for this season. So look at my points for this week. Look at my points for this week.
Where are you? You are.
Go, Baba, go. You see?
There you are.
You see the
19,
points.
17.
But look at game week 2.
Oh yeah, you took points, 82. You did well.
Because the first because I had to change that team. That team was just weird. I don't know what I did. Like I told G that I chose the team before. I chose the team before game week 1, and then I was like, I'll change it last minute. And then I got busy at work on the set, and I was like, I didn't change my team. It's like, hey, bro, you chose players that are not playing. I'm like, I know. I was basically screwed. I was basically screwed, but it's fine. I'll recover, man. Shout out to who's number 1.
Number 1 is Don Rams.
Yeah, man. Shout out.
Number 2.
Yeah, shout out to Don Ram. Shout out to Trevor. Shout out to
the producer.
To
this is why he's the producer. He's number 2 on the log.
Shout out to Siabonga, and a special shout out to Mooks, man. I know that this is his first season. He's doing pretty well. Shout out to him, Pinky and De Bruyne FC. And shout out to Expired. Shout out to Tepo. Shout out to you, K-Mac, on your first season, man. You're doing very well. Had a crappy week this week, though, but still doing well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chico. And yeah, that's the top 10, right?
That's the top 10 right there. Yeah.
So, but you guys must be careful of G, bro. G is sneaky, bro. G is very sneaky, bro. Like I'm gonna warn you guys now. Like G is very sneaky. He blah blah blah. 1 minute he's gonna be up there. But anyway, so that's it, guys. Please join our couch.
Why are you exposing me? Trevor knows me. Why are you exposing me?
please.
Why are you exposing me? Guys, but we need to make predictions for the next 2 minutes. Predictions for the coming season. Who's going to win the league? And we need to start.
I'm not gonna predict. I'm not gonna predict of 2 games. I'm not gonna do that. Give me 5 games.
Who's winning between Arsenal and Liverpool?
Liverpool, man. Liverpool. That is.
Kaya?
It's obviously Liverpool.
Liverpool. Score?
I think it's gonna be a 3-1.
I agree as well. 3-1. Kaya?
1-0.
1-0.
Not Liverpool and Arsenal game, Baba. You haven't watched them in the league. Not those two.
Anyway.
Two. But guys, thanks for the chat, guys. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, Upon. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching. Shout out to Saul, man, for jumping on. Unfortunately, he had to take a call, but and if you guys are watching out there and you just want to jump on the show, just let it know, man. We'll just drop you the link. You guys can jump on, and man, that's the Couch Pundies, and we are out.
Cheers, guys.